Welcome
Hola,
to Bright Horizons with
Deborah Colella and our one and only
Jim
Jim Chiaffi, the
Chaffee.
Juris Doctor.
Yes, so nice to see all of you.
Yes, hola, buenos dias, hello and good
Buongiorno,
morning.
buongiorno a tutti, benvenuti.
It's a beautiful Friday and we're so happy to be back with all of you. We missed you last week, right, Jim?
Yes,
But you know that we try and strive to be here as much as possible for all of you.
Valentine's Day. How was your Valentine's
It
Day?
was very nice, quiet, and so be it. And you know, Valentine's should always be every day. I've
Well,
always felt that. But Valentine's is a special time.
as long as you're together, that's the main thing.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's true. Very true.
It brought me back because
How was yours?
mine was fantastic.
Good.
9 years ago, I performed a wedding on Valentine's Day. Did I mention this before? Rick Rand and his lovely wife Bella. I performed that
Oh,
ceremony at his house in Palm Beach
Okay.
Gardens.
All right.
She's from Thailand, so they had a Thai service, religious service first, and then I performed the civil ceremony. So it was just fascinating to see. They had about 5 monks, Buddhist monks, that were lined up in the living room, yes, seated, and they were all praying, whatever, I guess in the Thai language. But it was very interesting because they had a string going across all 5 of their hands that were in prayer. So I guess that's like a unity.
A unity strand, right?
Strand.
Okay, nice.
And then they had
That's how they do
a
it.
flame lit, and it obviously all had significance. So it was
Wow.
very fascinating to see that. And then I had the pleasure of performing that ceremony
Oh,
afterwards.
how
So
nice.
happy anniversary, Rick and Bella Rand.
Remember that happy anniversary.
Yes.
God bless you both and many, many years of happiness.
Yes. And today's birthday, do you have any birthdays?
I can't. You go, Jim.
Okay.
Take it away, Jim.
Sue Pepler, happy birthday, Sue.
Happy birthday, Sue.
She's such a sweet person. She's like you. When she walks in the room, her smile just brightens
Oh,
everyone's
you're
day.
so sweet.
So we wish Sue a very happy birthday today. And tomorrow, a dear, dear friend, Elaine Ferretti. Happy birthday
Elaine,
tomorrow.
happy birthday.
And also Manuel Olivier. You know Manuel?
Manuel Olivier,
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And then on Sunday, Milena Lopez. Do you know
Elena
her? Yes.
Lopez, yes. Happy
Happy
birthday.
And Bernie Campbell. Same
Bernie,
thing.
happy birthday.
And then last week, my dear nephew, Dr. Michael Connor, had a birthday.
Michael, happy
So
happy
we wanna wish
birthday.
you
Lots of nice
birthday.
birthdays.
Yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
February this month is leap year.
Yes, the 29th.
Instead of 28 days, it's
You were
29.
close to that day.
I
But
know. Yeah. And I'm going backwards this year.
Wonder if yours was a leap year. Probably not.
60, no.
No. Okay.
No, it was not.
Okay.
Interesting. A lot of new powerful things I believe will be happening though for this year. Because of that, I believe in that wholeheartedly. Very
Yes.
supernatural, I
Yes.
believe. Very, very magnificent. And the power of persuasion.
And then
Yes.
President's Day Monday. Are you working? Or
Oh
is it-
no, we're off.
They're off?
We're off
So you
on
get a nice
President's
3-day
Day. Yeah,
weekend.
nice. It's very I have a doctor's appointment, but that's okay in the morning. But hey, I'm still off.
I'm
It's
surprised
nice.
the doctors are open
Yeah,
that day.
yeah.
The week before last, I had the honor of attending an Andrea Bocelli concert.
Nice, beautiful.
It was at Mar-a-Lago, so it was a very intimate.
He is the
imagine.
best.
Usually
Oh.
you see him with thousands of people. There were 500 there.
Wow.
And I was asked to help coordinate the live auction. They had a live auction items.
How nice.
So I was up on stage, and I would
I
introduce.
could just see that with you. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
I said, I've got to make the people laugh at first. So I went up on the stage and I said,
You should.
I know some of you are thinking, how did they keep it a secret that Barry Manilow would be here tonight?
Oh,
And everybody laughed. And then I said, I know some of you are thinking,
oh, that's.
Barry looks younger in person than on television. So I got a chuckle from
Oh,
everybody.
gee.
So it was fun.
Did you take pictures?
Yes.
Okay, good, good.
But they
I want-
also had the most wonderful live auction items. They had a weekend at the Masters tournament, the golf tournament,
Nice,
which a lot of
beautiful.
people like. Wimbledon.
Wimbledon,
Going
wow.
to England.
Whew.
They had trips to Tuscany
Tuscany.
and Mykonos and just wonderful.
Wow,
fundraiser.
wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And it benefited veterans, which we all love, you know.
That's lovely. No,
And-
that's beautiful. It
and
really is.
Tunnel to Towers, that wonderful organization.
How nice.
Yes.
How
So I
nice
was
can
so
that
happy.
be? My
Yeah, I was so
goodness.
happy to be there. So it was a beautiful, beautiful.
I'm
And
glad
they
you
raised hundreds of
enjoyed.
thousands of dollars. So
Amen to that. That's
I
a
was
wonderful cause.
happy with that. Yes.
Very.
So
Well, that's nice.
yes,
I'm glad you
it was
shared that
exciting.
with us. Good.
So that brings us to our topic today.
Yes.
Traveling the stress way of life.
We are traveling the stress way of life. And Jim and I was speaking yesterday, and let's face it, we're human, but who's not stressed? I mean, and it's okay to be stressed. I mean, we have our good and bad moments, our good and bad days, but we strive within ourselves to be as positive and as understanding and just deal with what hits us. But we
Yep.
can't get stressed, which is not a very healthy thing to do. We all
Right.
know this.
Well, positivity is very important.
Absolutely. It's all a
Because,
mindset, but
yeah,
still.
it's all your thoughts, and that's important that
And if you get off, it's so easy to get off track. And when that does happen, then hey, listen, I've done it a lot, and it's okay. But
Well, the
talking
beautiful
about
part is
it's-
when you're in a marriage or a relationship like you are, you have
Yes,
Greg
yes,
there
yes.
to see that stress
or I
level.
could yell at him.
Yeah, you get your aggression out.
The funny thing is, I'm joking right now because we do have a lot of communication. Because I'm a firm believer in communication. I truly
Yes.
am. And people often say, "What is the main trait that you believe in a relationship?" And I've always said communication, because without communication, what do you have?
It's true.
You truly need to understand, and even though you don't want to say it, even though it hurts, even though you feel embarrassed or whatever it may be, communicate, because we're not all mind readers, and we need to understand that we love each other in such a fashion and in such a way that we care, be respectful, and communicate. So, I mean, I would be lying if I said Greg and I haven't had our share of disagreements.
Well, every
Everybody
couple
does.
yeah.
But I mean, I could smack him around. I'm going to get that comical side out. But, and I know he watches this, so he'll be laughing. But no, it's good. And with you and Anne as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just really
Well, the
nice
important thing,
to have a partner.
you
really.
have to express what your thoughts and feelings are.
Absolutely.
Because if you hold them inside, then it
Oh,
just
it's
gets
abso-
worse and worse and worse.
Ugh.
Yeah. And when you love someone,
Ugh.
obviously that bond of love, you can accept what the other person has to say,
Right,
talk about
right,
it, and then try
right.
to resolve whatever the
Right.
particular subject is. But it's just beautiful to be in a relationship like that, where that love is the bond that holds you together. But you're right, positivity is so important. So Greg's there when you're feeling low. He can boost you up and try to increase
Right,
that
right,
positivity.
exactly.
And you for
Yeah,
him
and
also when he goes
exactly.
through periods.
And it's understandable, because not every day I'm going to have a good day, so I depend upon him. And then there may be times that both of us feel kind of but for the most part, he's much more laid back than I. And that's okay, and that's what makes a relationship balance, and
Right.
it works. It really works. But
But
for any relationship, it's so the communication. And I always turn to music. I love my music. I love jazz. Smooth jazz in particular, and it's soothing. And
Well,
it's
there are
I love
studies
it.
that show that music has an effect on
I
us.
love it.
Yeah.
I would be lost without my music. I love it.
And I think I've told you before, with Alzheimer's patients, they incorporate music into
Oh,
the
it's so
program
imperative. My
because it does
goodness.
touch.
Ugh.
It touches you really on a deep level.
It does. Last night I found a beautiful app. It was on YouTube. It was, my child, let me continue giving you strength. And these are Psalms by Jesus. And
Okay.
you know what? I put my earbuds in, and when I have a difficult time sleeping, it is so soothing. I can't describe the feeling that it gives you as you're lying there and you're taking in all the words and you're hearing everything that has
So-
to be said that's to the heart. You feel the actual warmness.
It's beautiful. Yes.
And it's soothing. I mean, it's like having a security blanket as a young child would have.
So I'm trying to picture this. You're lying in bed with the tiara on, and you put the earbuds in.
Oh boy, I should be on Illustrated, what is that magazine? That's funny. Oh my gosh, the tiara. That as you all know, for my birthday a few years ago, Jim he's hysterical. He's got such a sense of humor. And leave it to Mr. Chiaffi over here, and he thinks of it all. He most certainly does. He thinks of it all.
We snuck in and saw how Deborah sleeps in her house.
But he's so creative, and I love it because that's a creative mind like that
Yeah.
just makes me happy and makes me laugh, because without that, I mean, it goes back to your mindset.
Right.
So lying there with that, could you imagine lying there with your tiara and your sable on?
Because you
and
never know when
getting
there
up-
might be an emergency and you have
Right.
to run out of the house.
I said, I always sleep like this. I'm just enjoying it. Wouldn't it be easy if life were like that? You don't have to
Yes.
worry. Let's not shower. Let's just lie there. Oh, okay.
But that does bring us to the topic of humor, though, because that is important to have. And you're able to, because that's part of you.
Yes,
You can look
yes,
at the funny
yes.
side of things.
The
even
comic
though-
strip, The
right.
Far Side. Growing up, I used to love comic books. I did.
Yes,
I
me
loved
too.
Archie, and I
Yes.
loved all those comic books. I read them all the time. I enjoyed them tremendously, and I still do. But yeah,
But you incorporate humor into your life, you know. I mean, there are sad parts of our lives,
right.
and we have to experience those. But whenever you can inject humor or find the funny side of something, it's important to do that.
And you know, I have to laugh because now that you just said when you can see the funny side of something, have you ever been in a situation, and for crying out loud, I try so hard not to, but I have some dear friends who, when we're together, we're so bad together. And then you have like the quiet people around you,
Right.
and you're both like on the same wavelength, and you're both laughing at something, and everyone's like looking at you like, "What's so funny?" And then the tears start, and then I can't stop laughing.
Well, like you said, you had met that gentleman in
Oh,
the
Mark,
medical office.
Mark,
Mark, yes.
mwah. He's such a delight. We have to get
Yes.
together, Mark.
Yes.
You and I'll tell you, there's nothing like it. So
Right.
it just, I'm
He
so
inject,
glad.
I mean, he
I'm so
elevated
glad.
everyone's feelings in that
Yes.
doctor's office
Yes,
because of
yes.
his personality. You know, it's really wonderful to
Oh
be able
yeah,
to do
yeah.
that.
I mean, and like I said, when I met you, Mark, we were strangers, but it was almost like inevitable that we knew each. We were kindring spirits, no doubt about it.
Yes. That
There's
happened
no
in
doubt
that
about
happened
it.
in the post office yesterday. I was online and there were several people in front of me and a couple of them started talking and then we started talking. So sometimes you have that chemistry, like you said, between the people who are there and we were waiting and waiting because some gentleman was preparing certified letters, like 6 or 8 letters, you know, certified mail. So that takes time for the gentleman at the desk to process. So we were there and they're all and it was funny because the first woman was married. The second gentleman was in line. His name was James. And then she said,
Another-
her husband's name is James. I said, my name is James.
Well, I would have been laughing. That is funny. My name's okay.
then-
1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
And then she said her name is Alyssa. And he said, my sister's name is Alyssa.
Oh my
So
God!
it's
Now, my
funny
cousin's name is Alyssa.
when you
That's
have things in
hysterical.
common like that.
Oh,
you know,
it's
bring it
fabulous.
together.
You
Yeah.
just can't. I mean, that is what you call spirituality. I love that.
And that interaction is so important. Speaking of stress, I mean, it can de-stress you, you know, because you find things that are jovial and it elevates you, which is
You know,
beautiful.
Jim and I were talking. As you all know, I like to do my post on Facebook, and I was trying to do it every day. And I'm going to get back to that just so you all know. But you know, it's hard to, and I love to post. But listen, there's so many interesting things that we could post about and talk about, which I plan on doing. So I apologize for not being on as I wanted to be. But and that alone is a very wonderful feeling to have, being
Yes.
able to share with all of you. It makes my heart feel good, and knowing that I can care and share. So just bringing that up is just, it's so imperative, because that one thing that maybe I can say, maybe it's that one thing that the next person can say,
Right.
or two things that that person can say that's going to say, wait, it's going to make you realize, what, I need to hear that, or I need to know about that, or whatever.
That's one of the positive aspects of social media, being on
Absolutely,
Facebook and,
yes,
and other.
yes.
Is,
And Jim is
that
my mentor.
interaction.
He's just been amazing. So
Well, that interaction is important.
yes,
you know.
it really is. And you're right.
And some people.
And I always feel so guilty if I don't do a post. Honestly, I do. I'm
some
like,
people are isolated, so it brings them with some interaction.
Right, right.
Although I still
Right.
feel you need that human contact, not just interacting on social
Right,
media
right.
with people. I was at the restaurant the other night, and there was like a 4 or 5 year old with her 2 parents at a table. And don't you know they gave her a phone to start playing games
Oh,
with
boy.
instead of interacting,
no, that's not good.
which is so
Not good.
important. It really brings me down a little when I
It
see
does.
that.
I agree with
Because
you.
I
do.
remember back to my family
Yes,
days.
yes.
You know, with my parents and my sister, we interacted at every meal. It
I
was just
love
so
it.
beautiful, and it's so
Yes,
important
yes.
to share your thoughts,
Right.
to discuss even what's around there. It was a beautiful restaurant outside, you know, and the weather's been so nice, and it was outside.
Mm-hmm. It has been
You
beautiful.
know, they could have been communicating about the actual meal that
Right.
they were having and what was happening in their lives, and the child is on some type of a video game. It's very
And
distressing.
it is distressing to see that, because Greg and I, as a matter of fact, are discussing how it's unfair, because this is a different world. We all know that. But I remember jump roping with my girlfriends. I remember the hopscotch. I mean, I loved all that. My Barbie dolls, forget about it. I was
Right.
I was a dolly. I was a girly girl growing up. The dolls and my Barbie dolls and dressing them up. I loved it. But I entertained myself, my girlfriends. We always had. It was just wonderful. That was interacting. That was
Yes.
fun. That was.
It's so important
Something
for
that my
development.
mother
Yes.
instilled in all of us,
Yes.
especially my mom, because she was really heavily instrumental in a lot of what we did growing up. Like I said, Girl Scout leader, Brownie leader, Cub
Yes.
Scout leader for my brother. You know, for my sisters and I. So, and even my dad too, the little league for the baseball team. I mean, just always active. And I would love, love, love to see more of that in
Yeah.
in today's world. It's so,
Well,
God, is it important? It really is.
It is a blessing that my nieces, with their children, they do make sure that they interact, which is so important.
Yes.
Whether it's in sports or other
Right.
aspects of school. My little nephew, John Michael,
John,
on the
I love that.
29th, he's going to be in the play Cinderella. He's the prince.
Oh, how sweet is that?
So he gets to sing some songs, so
Is he going to wear a crown, a prince
I'm
crown?
not sure what he's going to
Okay,
do.
all right.
But I'll be attending that with Anne,
Oh,
and
sure.
Anne's coaching him a little bit with
Aw,
singing.
nice.
So it's really important to have children exposed to that. That's the reason I'm mentioning it.
Yes, yes.
Because a lot of them are with social media at a young age, and we
Yeah,
want them
yeah.
to be interacting with people. Now he's going to be on stage, so imagine that'll
How
be a
does he
great.
feel about this? Is he
He
excited
seems
or
to
is
be
he a little
excited.
nervous?
No,
Okay.
well, probably a combination of both. He doesn't
Sure,
verbalize
sure,
his anxiety about that, but he's on the stress way of life, as a child.
The stress way of life. Think about that. That's a good children trying to become accepted in school, and
Right.
whether it's kindergarten, first grade, second grade, it's all about acceptance and the stress with that. Think about that, the importance of what a child goes through and in their eyes. To me, there's nothing like the words out of a young child. They're so innocent
Right.
too.
And they are discussing how social media is putting stress on young girls, especially
Yeah.
because sometimes they're bullied, and there is difficult aspects of that.
horrible, yeah.
And then the image, the self-image, that's so important with a girl to have a healthy self-image, and sometimes there's some negativity about that. So we want to encourage everyone with the positivity and not the negativity.
There you
And then
go.
I was thinking, we're in professions that have stress because there's
yes.
deadlines.
Absolutely.
In law and in real estate,
Oh,
there
Jim,
are deadlines.
he's spot on about
Yes.
that, I'll tell you.
So
Yeah,
we both
spot
pick
on.
careers that have a certain level of stress at the office because of deadlines that you have to.
I don't know how you
adhere
do it. And
to.
there's days, I could have a wonderful, steady day. And then there's days like the other day, I thought, what in the world's going on? The phone didn't stop ringing, which is great. Don't misunderstand me. I love it
Right.
when it's busy.
But-
But it's true. You have to really,
Yeah.
there's a deadline, there's paperwork, there's time frames, there's a lot of paperwork. It's online. Oh, yeah.
And that's why we've said before, lists are so important.
Right.
Because
Having
if you
that
have
list,
if you
writing
have your
down.
list of what has to be accomplished that day, so then when the phone calls start and things unexpected happen,
You
you
can
can get
go ahead
back to
and
the
check-
list.
right,
And
check
not
it off,
rely
whatever
on your
you have to
memory
do.
that, I have to do this in
Right.
my mind.
I have a tendency. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know. I love maybe it's because I love coloring.
The
I still-
highlighter, yes, the
Yes,
highlighter.
as a young girl, that's another thing I still love doing. I colored all the time. I loved to color. I still do. Give me some
I
Crayola
think
crayons.
that
I love
talks about you, because you appreciate all of the colors have an
do,
impact
I do.
on people.
tremendously
Yes.
for me. But getting back to that, I was thinking, what I do now when I'm done. I know we're supposed to be in a paperless society. This is true. But am I? No, I'm still old-fashioned. I'm sorry. I like my notebook. I like my good old-fashioned notebook. Remember the composition books in school,
Yes.
the black and white. I love those. I still have them. But you know what? When I'm done with something, I'll print it out and I take the highlighter, boom.
Yes.
And don't ask me why I do that, because I'll look at my inbox. Okay, I took care of that, and I'll say, well, do I need to keep it? Let me just put it to the file, just in case I need it to
Well,
back me up.
That affects your psychological.
I have to just
aspect
know
of
that
it,
I have
yes.
it there for backup in case, God forbid, I need
Right.
it, the company needs it, maybe an agent needs it. Who knows? Just don't discard or
Right.
put it into an app file electronically. That's fine too. But I like the essence of having a paper
Hard copy, yes.
hard copy, just like a library book to me. I love that. I just, I don't want to, what's it, Kindle, is it?
Kindle.
Kindle, I'm
Kindle.
calling it Kindle.
Kindle, yeah.
I don't know. I still
Yeah.
want that book. I want the book
find it
in my
hard.
hand.
Yeah, I find it hard to read a book online like that. I
do.
prefer, like our
Yes.
dear Marie
Yes,
Pinchmit,
yes.
a hard copy book.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, my Jim. My Jim. So we hope you're not having a stressful day, but these are just tidbits that
But we do want to remind you, exercise is important, right?
I've been doing that. In
Yes.
fact, yes, it makes a difference. And I took out my weights. I'm not like boom, 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 but
No, you don't have to have heavy
I'll
weights.
tell you what, it makes a difference when
Get the
you're
blood
just
circulating.
yeah, when you're going and you're moving and
you-
grooving,
and
it
it
helps.
tones your muscles. So
Yeah.
that's all you really want to do is
I
keep
don't know
them
what tone
toned.
mine is, but Well,
And then
yeah.
it was funny because Robin asked me about the topic. So when I mentioned it to her, she said faith is important, and it is.
Faith, Robin, I
Faith,
love you. Mwah.
yes,
You
or
are so correct.
meditation and faith. The
Yes. I was
prayer,
just telling Jim,
meditation.
now that you say that, it's
Yes.
funny how I said, I'm reading a book, Sarah Young, and it's called Jesus Calling. And this book is phenomenal. And I will tell you on a daily basis, I picked it back up, and it's very inspirational.
Yeah.
The words of our Lord, and, it has helped.
And it's beautiful
So-
that our dear Carol Dubinsky gave you that
Yes,
book.
yes, years ago. And I've got so many books that I truly have picked back up now. And so, yes, Robin, you're correct. Faith is so imperative. Big
It
time.
is so much.
It
So,
really is. Because without that, just like with communication, what do you have?
right.
What do you have?
Yeah. But even meditation, some people like to
Meditation.
just meditate in the
Right.
morning, and it calms you down.
Now, when you
you're focusing
meditate, do you like breathe in and breathe out? How do you?
Yeah, breath is important.
Very so. I like explain how.
I
How do
don't
you
take
breathe?
deep breaths, but
How do you
you
breathe?
want to be conscious of your breathing. So
Do your
in and out, and then just the peace. It gives you that
Peace,
peaceful,
peace.
that peaceful spirit, and it's so important,
I have a tendency of thinking it's crazy, but I'll close my eyes,
right?
breathe, then I think of clouds that are marshmallows.
That's good.
I do.
Whatever
And
works
clouds
for
that
you.
are marshmallows, and then I picture myself
eat them?
flying. Sometimes I say so. I love marshmallows. Now I'll start thinking about that the next time I do that. But I just love to, I'll lie there and I'll say, okay, now you're floating on a cloud, and I feel like I'm like a magic genie. It's amazing what the mindset can do. The meditation, as silly as that may sound, it's what I do. And I'm not afraid to share it.
Well, it's important. That's an important aspect.
It's
Yes.
it's all what you can do for your mental state of mind. And another thing that I noticed the other day, when I had the who was it? A girlfriend of mine. She said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine." She says, "No, you're not," because she
could
knows
sense
me.
it, yes. Yeah.
And yes,
Over the phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She could sense it in your voice.
And honestly, I'm the same way, and I strive to not be that way because
Right.
I really want to be there for everybody else. But then I was just speaking to another friend of mine the other day, and she said to me, let it go. You have to be you. You cannot be strong all the time for just,
Right.
other people. You have to know you could put out this fire, you could put out that fire, you could be there, you could be stable, you could be the pedestal for everybody. But what about you? You count. True. The boundaries are there, and they're very important to keep there. And I'm learning as I get older, I'm learning more, believe it or not. And I think that's a wonderful thing as we all get older. And there's nothing wrong with learning. Every day is a new day. It's a brand new day.
It's true.
It's not as if
That's the beauty of
yes.
of
Today's
having
Friday,
a
but
day.
it's a new Friday.
Right.
It's not like the last Friday, nor was it like the Friday 2 Fridays
with
ago.
new opportunities. Yes. it's
New
beautiful.
opportunities. So I just love that aspect. If we could just learn to, hey, I have to constantly remind myself. It's so important. So important. But and the belief in, like Robin said, the faith, that
Yeah.
is so instrumental. Big time, Robin. I
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
And I have crazy faith. I really do. And I may get a little, oh well, okay. What about this? What about? But I get right back on track because I know
No,
who's in
I
charge.
noticed you posted a picture of you on the altar
Yes,
when
I
you were a
did.
lector, right?
I just got chills. I used
So
to
we
enjoy
have to
that
ask
so
Deb,
much.
when is she going to do that again? She has to get back to being a lector.
What a wonderful feeling that was. It was one of the nicest things, to me, one of the most rewarding things that God put me,
Yes.
He allowed me to do.
You touch people.
You really do. And, the music and standing there and just knowing that you're speaking His word, there's nothing like it as far as I'm concerned. So being a lector, and I did every weekend. I loved it.
And I'm a lector at St. Paul the
Yes,
Cross.
Jim has been one for many
Right.
years. Yeah.
But the interesting
Beautiful
part
church,
is
too.
when people will come up to you afterwards
Yes,
and make a
and
comment
that's-
about it. So the beauty for me and for you is that
Yes.
you've touched someone, and that's
Absolutely,
and you're touching them
yeah.
with the word. We would have practice sessions. Did you have practice
Oh,
sessions?
always.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's
Always.
what the priest
I
would
still have
tell-
the books.
Yeah, the priest would
Oh,
tell
yeah.
us the inflection of your voice, the speed.
Absolutely. Very
Because
important.
I noticed at St. Paul the Cross, because of the microphone, you actually have to speak slower than you normally would.
Right.
Because the people, and I sometimes sit in the back.
In the
Because I
back.
want to hear, and if they speak too fast, you cannot
Right.
distinguish the
Right,
words. And they're so important, those words, obviously, from the Bible.
Oh, yes.
So that speed is so important, to slow it down, and the inflection of your voice.
The inflection,
It's just-
absolutely.
yes,
I
it's
remember the
beautiful.
first time doing it, and I remember how it started. I contacted Holy Name Church, and I wanted to become actively involved and give my time. So I spoke with a Sister Ann, and she was lovely. I remember Sister Ann; she was so lovely. She said, "Something tells me that you enjoy speaking and you enjoy reading." She says, "I think that you'd be a very good lector," and that's how it all became
Oh,
about,
wow, yeah.
over the phone.
So she could tell from the
This is
speaking
a
with you.
nun. I got chills again, and I
Yeah.
said, "Wow!" And it never. I thought maybe I can go to the cafeteria, whatever, help that. I wasn't thinking that,
Right.
but it was again the good Lord who
Right.
it was meant to be. So that's how that started, and I went and practiced, and I had the book, and I said, "Oh, I can do this," and I enjoyed it, and I could hardly wait to get up there. And the first time, my very first time lecturing, my father and mother were way in the back, and my father, unfortunately, at that time was ill and was sitting in a wheelchair watching, but I could see when I was done the tears in his eyes of happiness.
Yes.
And then, on top of everything else, there was a woman who just, I mean, literally just came over to me, went like this, and she said, "You touched me. You have
beautiful.
touched me." And I looked at her. I says, "No." I said, "I've done nothing." I said, "I've just spoken the words of the Lord." She goes, "No, it was you. You've touched me." So with that, I saw more tears in my father's eyes, and then I
Right.
got teary-eyed.
Right.
So then I realized, okay, that was my calling to do that. And it's a
Right.
wonderful feeling when you can do that. So I love the fact that you lecture, Jim, and
And talking about stress,
I love
mean,
that.
I find
Yeah.
a religious service like that de-stressing,
Very
because
much,
you know
yeah.
you're with the Lord,
Yes.
and you're communicating to the Lord what maybe stresses you feel, and the Lord is keep telling you to be calm and that everything will work out, and you just have to see
Again,
what the solutions
communication,
are,
right,
because
right.
there are solutions, and it's not always on our time frame, right?
Never is.
You know,
I'll
it's
tell
on the
you,
Lord's
I
time
keep,
frame.
it's always
Yes.
in the Lord's time.
Yeah.
And even though you feel, oh, wow. And I have a friend just again. Oh, I said, honey, she almost got, the weather a few weeks ago was so bad, and she almost got stuck in a tornado.
Oh,
And I'll never forget, she says, I grabbed the wheel, and she says, "Dear God, please," and she had her son with her, and she said, "Dear God, please," and she was on her way to Port St. Lucie when this occurred. So it was just nuts. I mean, she says, "Deb," she goes, "I just pictured, that was it. My whole life and my son's." And she said she grabbed the wheel and she said, "Heavenly Father, please, no, I can't, don't, no, please help me." And then in between and prior to that happening, she was complaining about this and that. When is it going to be my time? Blah, 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 blah. So I said, "Listen to you." I said, "I would like you to listen to what you just said."
right.
And she looked at me and she said, "What?" I said, "Who was there for you when you thought you were going to be
Right.
finished? You cried out. Who heard you?" I said, "Always remember that. It's in
Right.
His time. He listens to you, but it's
Beautiful.
never going to be
Yes.
when we want it to be,
Right.
although it'd be nice, but we're not in charge.
Right.
We're not in charge." I can't say that enough. I just love that.
Yeah.
You're
Beautiful.
right. I have to go back to lecturing. I just enjoyed it so much. And if I could just touch everyone's heart into, in fact, it's,
Well, another
We
year
can't
has
get
gone
another-
by since you've said that, so you got to
I know,
make an effort to
it's
do
just,
it.
shy. Until I do it again, I said I would like to, I didn't say I was going to. Yeah, no, he's going to put me to it. I know. Oh, and I'm not procrastinating by any means. It's things, life happens, but
Right.
it's wonderful that I was able to do it. And we'll see
Yeah.
what the good Lord has in store. We'll see what He's got in store.
Well, as usual, we've got our dear friend Marie Pinchon.
Yes.
And by the way, Marie, I did receive your book finally, Saving Porterville, which I will read. I haven't had the chance to start
I
yet.
was-
But I finally, remember, I ordered it.
You got the wrong book. I
got the
remember
wrong
you
book.
say you got the wrong book. Well, you got the right book. Good.
So they
Good, Jim.
finally replaced it with the
Aw.
right book. Because I was saying, wouldn't that be funny if the second time they give me a wrong book again? But it was the right one, Marie, so all's well. But I always want to read an essay now.
Aw.
There's not one that talks specifically about stress, but this is called Anxiety Virus. So
Wow.
anxiety,
Well, that's
anxiety
close.
is
Okay.
close to stress.
Okay.
right?
Oh, yeah.
During my early years, I worked at a medical clinic transcribing medical histories. When no explanation for a patient's symptoms could be found, the doctor dictated the diagnosis as anxiety neurosis.
Oh, God.
That's what the
Oh, yeah.
fallback was for the doctors to diagnose it, anxiety neurosis.
Ay,
The anxiety virus comes from the strain
Yes.
what if.
what if?
The symptoms can often linger on for a lifetime. Patients go to their death harboring the same question. They wear it like a second skin. How many of your what ifs actually come to fruition? See, this is the genius of Marie, because that's what we think of. What if this? What if that? You know. So
And we're driving ourselves crazy.
Yeah. So that's the
in the
anxiety.
process.
That's the increase
And this
of the
is what the Lord
anxiety
tells you
level.
not to do. Rest in my thoughts. Don't do that. Right.
Has your greatest fear come true? It's human to be anxious when
Of
a loved
course,
one is
of
ill,
course.
a phone call is not returned,
Of course.
a family member has taken a wrong turn in life. What if you're not dressed appropriately or you say something stupid in a speech? What if you fail to try something new? What if your first canvas looks like it's painted by a parrot? You know, these are all things that the what ifs, the what ifs, what ifs.
Oh, I love it. This is great.
Has anyone ever calculated how much time is lost by anxiety, which is true? How much time do we lose
Wow.
by
Yeah,
being
it's very,
anxious?
very profound. Absolutely.
The
Yes.
kind that stifles your creativity, stops you dead in your tracks, and keeps you from moving on with your life. What ifs have thwarted great achievements, great paintings, beautiful songs,
Ah, Marie.
magnificent
Love it.
architectural renderings of cathedrals and skyscrapers. What if you write a bestseller that catapults you to the media limelight and you're an extremely shy person? What if you're called on to do that second or third work of art and your creative juices have dried up? You fear you can't live up to your success. All these things go on in the back of our mind. So she goes on to say, you have to turn the negatives into positives, right? So you want to turn those what ifs into positive what ifs. So it's just beautiful.
I love that.
So
You know,
that-
it kind of reminds me of what I said the other day to myself. And, you know, there's more lost in indecision than no decision.
that's true.
There is more lost. I'm going to say that again. There's more lost in indecision than no decision. And I will tell you, I'm guilty of that.
Well, we all are. Yeah.
And I cannot beat myself up for that. But
I just want to read this other. The only way to overcome anxiety is to own it, face up to it,
Yes,
and not
yes.
second guess or project the outcome. Beautiful.
oh, I
Marie.
love that, Marie. What
Yes.
You picked it such a spot on, Jim. I love
Yeah,
that.
There's so much wisdom that you share with us, Marie. We love it. We love it. We love it. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's
Out of my
our
mind
Marie.
and into your heart. I always recommend you buy this book because there are over 300 poems and essays, and they're so apropos to everyday life.
They are.
What a difference a day makes.
It does. It does. It does.
We got the tambourine.
I think maybe one of our shows I came without, and I think we clapped or something. But in
Yes.
the meanwhile, guess what I have today?
Tambourine.
The anticipation.
Yes. Yep.
What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours brought the sun and the flowers where there used to be rain. What a difference a day makes. And the difference is you and you and you and you and you and you.
All of
You
you.
better believe you make a difference in our life. And we hope we've made a difference in your life today. You know,
Yes.
you mean a lot to us. We wouldn't be here if you didn't mean. Believe me, we love you all. So
Yes,
just
and we-
enjoy today and keep your blessings.
De-stress,
De-stress.
de-stress, de-stress.
De-stress,
Just-
and we'll de-stress with you.
Yes, because the stress is not going to solve anything. It's just
You know,
gonna
that's so true.
cause-
What is it going to, really
Right.
and truly, what is it going to solve? It's
You-
only going to make it worse.
It usually causes ill health too.
Well,
so
that's what
that's the
I
worst part.
worry about because you breathe in. Like Jim
Right.
was saying, breathe in, exercise. You know, get a microphone, sing. Or don't get it. Just take a hairbrush and sing. Get in front. You know, just whatever music.
Yes,
But
it's
de-stress.
soothing. Yes. So we always like to tell you to keep.
Always keep your
Your horizons
horizons
bright.
bright. And until next time, mwah,
Yes,
we
thank-
love you all.
Thank you for joining us. We
Take care.
appreciate that, and we look forward to seeing you again next time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.